Welcome to the Bender Bunker, your one-stop shop for B-Bender related videos, and it is happy TwangsGiving to you and yours from the Bender Bunker. You know, here we are in fall of 2020, you could tell by the leaves earlier, and I thought I'd throw out what we might call some autumnal twang for you. You know, we've got the holiday season ahead of us now, and Thanksgiving is on deck first. And if you're like me here in the US, you're probably not going anywhere. You're probably not going to be with family and friends this year. I'm not. We're going to be stuck here yet again, more time at the house, as it's been most of the year, due to current circumstances. So I thought in light of all that, I would give the Bender players out there a little something to work on over the Thanksgiving holiday, and that's what I've come up with here. It's got some slow parts. It's got some faster parts, as you've heard. We're going to put them all together. I'm going to show you all of them and more. And as always, we're going to get you out of this lesson in no time playing all these parts just as good as you heard, hopefully, if I do it right. So, you know, it's in A and E. I write most of my stuff in A and E just to keep it simple. I happen to love A. I think it's one of the twangiest keys ever created. So it goes to A and E and back to A. And we start off kind of slow. That's A and E, and we are actually using some chord shapes that longtime viewers may recognize from an earlier lesson we did this year called the Drifting Cowboy Lick, which was... Remember that one? Well, those are the three chord shapes you've always got available in any key as a twang player. And I'm utilizing that up here in A to get me down to the A7th bender part. So we start up here with that little chord shape, get down to here, which is the A7th bender area. 7. Do the same trick for E. And then we just kind of take an A chord up like we mean it. Back there for the firework. And then end strong with some crazy bending in E. And I'll tell you, we're going to go, like I say, go over all that. When we get to this fast part, I'm going to give you the origin story on that one. It's kind of humorous because I actually bastardized that lick while listening to what I'd have to say probably one of the top 5 least twangy bands of all times. I took one of their riffs and converted it to that. I'll walk you through that story because I didn't see that one coming and it just kind of popped out and I enjoyed that. I always love it when you know, you always get something from other genres of music and you can bring it into the fold here. So that's what we've got ahead of us. Put down that turkey leg, or if you're in California, the tofurkey leg. And grab that bender and let's get to it here as we do happy TwangsGiving here at the Bender Bunker. Before we get rolling, indulge me. I just want to go over the quick 3 ways you can support the channel. And the good news, 2 of the 3 are free, so you can't beat that. If you're enjoying what you're hearing and you're ready to take this lesson, this might be a great time to support us with a quick thumbs up. Just take your mouse right down there. It's a great way to support the channel, help us move up the search rankings, and cost you nothing. I do believe you have to be logged into your YouTube account to do that. I'd appreciate it. Now, if you're new to the Bunker and you're not yet subscribed, we'd love to have you in the Bunker family. There's a subscription button in one of these corners. You'll see it. That way you won't miss anything that we do. We've got a backlog of probably 50 Bender lessons waiting for you on our channel in a playlist from previous years. And we try and put out 1 or 2 of these spicy little numbers a month to keep things interesting. So hit that subscribe button and join the fun if you would. And then the last way, if you do want to go full money and support financially, great. We've got a safe and secure way for you to do that via PayPal. Just hit that show more section below this video, expand it out. That's where we list all the equipment that we use in this video. You'll also see the Bender Bunkers direct PayPal account. And we call that sending over a virtual beer donation, because honestly, most, if not all that money that you send over is indeed spent on beer, which we tend to feature us drinking on the Instagram channel, which you'll see a link down there below as well. So that's our PayPal option. And that's it, I'm done. Let's get rolling here with the Happy TwangsGiving lesson. We are going to start at the beginning in A and learn the opening sequence. Now I'm going to turn the slap back off because there's some ghost notes and some picking in here that we really need to go over that might get a little confusing with the slap. So this is it dry with just reverb. And since this is an A, it's not a coincidence that we're going to be up here on the 14th fret, the octave A. And much like our last lesson, cranking the dBs, where I'm talking about using your 4th and 2nd string, your D and B strings together, we are going to start with that exact mentality. 4th and 2nd string on the 14th fret up here. And I've got my middle finger on the 4th string 14th and my ring finger on the B string 14th. And we're going to start with a triplet, starting with the 4th string 14th, going over to the 2nd string 14th, and then back to the 4th string 14th. And as you'll hear, that 3rd note of the triplet back on the 4th string 14th is more of a dead note. It's more percussive. There's a little bit of that note in there, but not much. It's more percussive. And that's for 2 reasons. One, it likes to keep things nice and chicken picking sounding, and it gives us just enough time to pre-engage the bender, because we're going to need it pre-engaged for what we do after that triplet, okay? We don't want the bender engaged when we do that 2nd note on the B string, because we don't want to bend that 14th fret. So that gives, again, it's a dead note, pre-engaged. So triplet, 14th, and on both the 4th and 2nd. All right, and then the bender's engaged. So you can hit that 3rd note or just dead note it, whatever sounds best to your ear. Now you've got the bender engaged. You're going to drop down on your B string with your index finger to the 12th fret and then hit that note and bring the bender down. All right, so now it's a triplet, pre-engaged, and then the B string 12th to bring it down. Now you've got that shape on the 4th and 2nd. And the bender's down. We're going to move down to our 2nd shape now, which is again the 4th and 2nd strings. You're going to have your middle finger on the 4th string 11th and your index finger on the B string 10th for that shape. Comes down. Now what we're going to do now is 1 dead note. And again, for the newer players, all I'm doing when I say dead note is I've got my fingers on the fretboard, of course, my fret hand, but I'm just not pressing any notes. I've got it just laying on the string, so when I hit anything, it's just a dead note. And it's very common in country twang playing, and so I need it for rhythmic purposes and to give us more of that chicken picking sound. Now the bender's down, I do a dead note, and then I'm going to that 2nd shape. When I get there, after I do that 1 dead note, I immediately go into the 4th string 11th. Now when I hit that 4th string 11th, that gives me just enough time to pre-engage the bender again, because when I go to the B string 10th with my index, it's to let the bender down. Dead note, 4th string 11th, pre-engage, and then B string 10th down. Now the bender's down. Now we're going to move right into what we're going to call what is the 7th shape, a B bender 7th shape for A. To do that, we're going to do 2 dead notes now. 1, 2, and that gives us just enough time to get our hand down here to the 7th shape. Now we're only going to use the top 2 strings really for most of this section of the 7th shape. So that means my index finger's on the B string 8th and my ring finger's on the high E 9th. Just the top 2 strings. So I just came off the 2nd section. I do 2 dead notes to get down there, and when I get down to that 2-note section here on the 8th and 9th fret, I'm going to start by hitting the B string, take the bender up all the way, grab the high E 9th, again, I take the B string eighth up, one note, and take the bender up. Grab the high E ninth, already covered. Go back to the already bent B on the eighth. Hit it again, so that's a triplet of notes. One up, high E, back to the B string. Now let the bender down and take it all the way back up. Bender's engaged, right? Okay, so now we're going to do our little finger on the high E 10th for a note. Let that up, do the B string, still engaged there on the 8th. And then go to the high E 9th, still covered by your ring finger there. So that's 3 notes, right? 1, 2, 3. So we just did the 3 note up and down on the bender. Bender back up, and we do 3 notes now, high E 10th, B string 8th. And then we do the high E 9th. And then now, once we do those 3 notes, we've still got that 2-note pattern there with the bender engaged. I'm going to up pick in isolation those top 2 double stop. And on the second one is when I let the bender down. And then I finish that 7th shape that I was talking about with my middle finger on the G string 9th. All right, let's go over that part again. So we came down here with 2 dead notes. We took the B string up, grabbed the high E 9th, came back, bender down, bender back up. Then we did high E 10th for a note, B string 8th for a note, high E 9th for a note. And then we did double stopping on the top 2 strings on the 8th and 9th, bender down. Then we finished strong with that 7th shape on the G string 9th. All right, here's what we know. Okay, now good news. The song shifts to E, but we're already exactly in position here in E as we finish up that 7th shape for A. We're exactly where we need to be for the E riff. And here's even better news. The E riff that we're about to learn is exactly what you just learned. I don't need to teach it to you again. I just need to teach you the starting and the end points. So we went here. Song goes to E now. So instead of your starting point being the 4th and 2nd string on the 14th, it's going to be the 4th and 2nd string on the 9th. Right, 1 dead note, and then we do the second pattern, same as before, except now it's 4th string 6, pre-bent on the B string 5th, 2 dead notes. We're going to grab the E 7th shape, which is the B string 3rd and the high E 4th. And then the same pattern we just learned. High E with our little finger on the 5th. Double stop, top 2. And then we finish with the last note being the G string 4th. Because we're finishing our E 7 shape. Okay, all together. That's wrong. That's right. Now when I play it at the speed like that, you're hearing a lot of that percussive picking, but I have indeed showed you the dead notes to get you there. It's just a matter of getting it fluid now. All right, you go and work on that. I'm going to go grab some Thanksgiving libations, and we're going to come back for the A section with the speed part and the origin story of where the speed part comes from. Coming up next. Well, okay, we've worked our way down the neck. We started all the way up here on the 14th fret in A, got to the middle, played around in E, and we're going to end up back down here where we need to be in A, right? So we just did the E7 7 shape, brought the bender down. I've got my middle finger on the 4-string 4th fret. I'm gonna let the middle finger wander down to the A note on the 3rd string 2nd fret, all right? And that's it, it's just middle finger on the 3rd string 2nd A note, that's it, all we're doing here. And we're just gonna do an honest to God, fun to have a B bender A chord. That's literally what we're gonna do. So once we've got that one note there with our middle finger, I am gonna start at the top, the low E, and I'm gonna make it kind of nasty. I'm gonna rake it down with my pick, but I am muting it with my palm. All I'm really gonna let ring out is indeed that 3rd string note and the top 2 strings open above it as I take the bender up, but I'm gonna really pick into it. Like that. Now make sure you take the bender all the way up, fully engaged. You don't want any flat notes by accident. Now we've got the bender up there. Do a real quick note with your little finger on the high E 3rd. Pop back over to the G string 2nd that you still got there, right? Then go back up to the high E open this time. Little finger came on. And then we're going to do the B string open to let the bender down. And then end with that 3rd string 2nd A note. So again. Kind of quick, it's a faster tempo, so up to speed. And I am kind of making those very staccato notes, even though it's the top 3 strings I'm letting ring open. I am still kind of muting a little bit with the palms until I get to the very last couple of notes, which I let ring open. These are kind of muted. Bender's down now. We've finish that section. Now we're going to go to the speed section, which is the top 2 strings. And this would be a fun time to do the origin story of that lick, as I mentioned in the opening here. Since it's, you know, holiday time, we're spending time together. I'm going to put on overdrive for this. This is the that lick came from this lick. Let's see if you recognize it. Spirit of the Radio. Was listening to that, an old classic from way back in my youth, and that somehow got back into my subconscious, so by the time I got back to the lesson we're working on now, it turned into... Now you know the rest of the story. I do love me some Rush. They were a big band in my youth. No, I don't think they had any bender in Rush. And as I mentioned before, I do consider Rush one of the top 5 least twangy bands of all time. Right up there maybe with the Genesis and Yes. I don't know. You tell me. Put in the comments below, what is the least twangy band? I don't know if Rush is the least, but they got to be in the top 5. All right, back to the lesson at hand now, the speed lick. We just got into that serious bent A. Back down now. What I'm doing here is I'm going to go ahead and pick the B string open to take the bender up. And then I'm going to fully engage that bender. Make sure you got it all the way up with that note. And just keep that bender there. Just anchor your thumb and just keep it right there. And then we're going to do these 3 frets. We're going to be rolling off the 3rd high. This is all high E, by the way. The 3rd, the 2nd, and the 5th. And we're starting with the 3rd, and what I'm doing is I'm picking the 3rd, and then after one pick, and then a roll off to an open E. And then once I do that pick and roll off on the high E, I go back to the open B string that is still up with the bender. Right? So I start on that high E 3rd, go down with my index finger to the 2nd fret, high E, do the same thing. Hop back up there to the high E 5th fret for a pick roll off, open B string bent. Again, your bender's always engaged for this part. Once you take it up, you leave it there. I've got a little slapback on. I recommend you do the same, but when you take it up, so we'll come out of the A and then I'll take it up to speed for you. Okay, so work on that. Again, one of the keys to remember is once you get the bender engaged on that first B string open, make sure you leave it there because you're coming off each of the high E pick roll-offs back to that open string B. And you're doing it 3, 2, 5. You do it again, 3, 2, 5, and then you're done with that section. Now we're going to go back to E and finish with some E bender licks. So we just came off that. And the last thing we do is hit that open B with the bender. Now we can start to let the bender down with that very last open B string hit. As we're coming down, let's go ahead and pick with our index finger on the B string third. Let's not come all the way down as we hit that last note from that sequence. As we're coming down there, let's go ahead and put our index finger on the B string third, pick it, and go back up before we get all the way back down. Hit that, and then we're going to go, I'm going to show you the patterns. Then it's middle or ring finger on the high E fourth for that section. Again, it's the top two strings of the E7 section. Bender comes down a little bit as I slide up. Again, I'm using my middle and ring finger here, top two on the 7th. Bender comes down, top two on the 10th. So those are really our pattern. And that's what we're doing. So for context, okay, so we just came off of, and what I'm doing there is I'm taking that B string third up, then high E fourth, then I'm doing a dead note. I'm bringing the bender most of the way down as I go up to the top two on the 7th. A little dead note after that. And then I'm doing 3 notes here when I get to the top two on the 10th, starting with the B and taking the bender up. I go back to the B string for that triplet. And this little finger up here on the high E12 for a note. Going back to the B string 10th. So I'm taking it up for 3 notes. 1, 2, back to the B string, 3, high E12. And then I'm going back to the still bent B on the 10th. And I'm finishing up on the high E 10th. And then I'm coming back down with the B bender. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 note sequence. With the last note, of course, being the B string on the 10th to let the bender down. And then when I come down off of that, I do 2 dead notes. And then I'm going to make a real quick, what we call the bender twang box here in the bunker for E. So immediately it lets my index finger go to the top 2 on the, what is that, the 7th. And then that lets my ring finger go into the G string on the 9th to make the top 3 note of an E, right? So I'm coming off of this. Bender comes down, 2 dead notes. And then make that shape, index finger, top 2 on the 7th, pre-bent on the bender before you start anything. Start with the high E 7th, go to the bent B after it on the 7th. Bender down. And then end with your ring finger on the G string 9th. up the speed. Now, a variation that you can do right here with that very last E bender shape is when you come off of this. So instead of just coming off of it and letting it go, when you get it down, blast it twice with the bender. Right? Then let it down. All right. That's it. I'm going to fire up the backing track and let's play it in context, shall we? All right, I've got that backing track ready to go. The boys are on a smoke break. They're union. You know how that goes. But I'll fire it up, play every lick we just learned in context so you can hear it one last time and get on out of here. Let you get back to your TwangsGiving. I sure appreciate the time you spent with me here. Thanks to everybody for the support. Very much appreciated. Share this video with anyone you think might get a kick out of it while you're thinking about it. And I will see you again real soon next month as we head into Christmas. You know, that'll be our third annual. December is our 3rd year anniversary here of the Bender Bunkers channel. And I always try and do what we call the last lick of the year. So I'll be coming up with something next month for that. But until then, this ought to tide you over. I will see you again real soon. Got to end with a motto. I'd be crazy not to, right? It's never too late to go on a bender, especially during TwangsGiving. And I will see you again real soon. Stay healthy and, you know, we'll get through this together. All right, boys, let's do it.